So, like, you hear people talk about why it's good for you,
Right.
but that's different than taking action and trying some of those things. And like I've done that and kind of been like, oh, that actually helped. So, welcome back to In Residence. I'm Keith.
And I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Keith.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing fine.
Good.
We're in the closet again in Green Bay.
We are.
So, Thanksgiving is approaching.
It is.
And we thought it is the perfect time to talk about gratitude.
Yeah.
How do you want to start?
So we were talking about how gratitude is something that's really important to practice, but can also be hard or intimidating to do. We thought maybe what we could do is talk a little bit about why we know practicing gratitude's important or beneficial, and go through a couple quick things that people might be able to do themselves that take some of maybe the pressure out of what practicing gratitude can look like. Maybe we could talk a little bit about what does that even mean?
Right. People say gratitude is important because it's good for your mental health.
And even physical health.
Yeah.
I mean, there's research that does say that practicing gratitude can help lower blood pressure. It can help reduce stress. It can give you higher levels of energy. Another important piece, it can improve your relationships. And it can also be motivating from kind of a self-improvement standpoint. So physical and mental health. And one thing that you said is practicing gratitude can transform your perspective and really brighten your day in a way that might not have otherwise happened if you weren't finding ways to be grateful and naming that.
Yeah. So, like, going about doing that and then seeing that it's actually true
Mm-hmm.
was kind of surprising to me.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I probably been talking about gratitude with you for quite a while,
Sure.
but I don't know if we talk about it so much here. I usually talk about having grace with myself a lot on here,
Right.
but like a gratitude practice, I find helps me get from maybe a little down or low to a little more active and maybe even chipper. Anyway, the number one thing, my first kind of interaction with actually trying it was the 5-minute journal
Yeah.
that I heard from Tim Ferriss, and I think he found from UJ Ramdas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got these questions that are kind of like affirmations, but it also starts out with like, what are 3 things you're grateful for? And I was doing that for the better part of a year, like every morning or most mornings. And it doesn't have to be super big, but I found that it was helping me shift my perspective first thing in the morning. It has like a morning and an evening thing. So you kind of come back to it. So anyway, but it's not supposed to take very long.
So if I decided, because I do journaling in the morning, but if I wanted to do this 5-minute journal, how would I go about starting to incorporate that into my practice? Because 5 minutes doesn't sound like a lot of time for something that could be impactful. And I know often when I'm thinking about adding one more thing to the morning, just like I can't even think about adding something more because I have enough going on. But 5 minutes, I have 5 minutes. So tell me a little bit more about if I was to do this, what would that look like?
So, and I know you can like buy a journal, but you can also find what the basic prompts are. And so I'm going to list those off, but feel free to go ahead and buy it if you feel like you need to buy it. But I just wrote it down so I could remember and I write it down. So it starts with in the morning, it's I'm grateful for, and then 1, 2, 3. And then it's what would make today great. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And then a daily affirmation that is I am ... And that's it. That's it.
Okay.
In the evening, you would circle back and it would say 3 amazing things that happened today. 1, 2, 3. And then how could I have made today even better?
Oh.
And that's it.
So a little reflection.
Yeah.
That seems like something that could be really doable.
Yeah. And a lot of the times it would be, I'm grateful for you, child one and child two.
Sure.
It's that simple. It could be that simple. And then it would get to the point where I'm like, well, you're my immediate family, and I'm going to list you three as number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be like, two, I'm grateful for books. And then three
Sure.
would be, I'm grateful for music.
Uh-huh.
It just snowballs from there. And some days it's very broad like that. And some days it's a little more like, I'm so grateful that John Batiste came out with a new record.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be such high pressure. And then the next thing of, what would make today great? That I think that's another way of helping shift my mindset to what actions am I going to take today?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second half is more of reflection of like, oh, this is what I did today. And maybe what could I have done a little differently? And it doesn't have to take very long. Yeah, it's another practice that I'm looking to get back into because it was really beneficial. And I think it really helped me even in like the early days of starting the podcast.
Right.
Trying to find that motivation of, okay, I'm doing something, but why am I doing it? Or it's like, no. It's like, it's a project. So like one day it's like, an amazing thing was like, I got through one full edit of the podcast and I got more to do, but that's fine.
Sure. I like that. I'm going to have to try. Maybe I'll try the 5-minute journal approach, at least in the morning.
Well, and for me, it was a way to get into journaling
Mm-hmm.
because it was a prompt versus me just writing, I woke up and I had coffee. I don't know what to write about. It's like, oh, it's more of like, okay, I'm going to answer these questions and maybe something will come out of it. Because if I start thinking about what I'm grateful for and what would make today great, then maybe I'll go on and I can write a little more about that after I'm done with this 5 minutes.
Yeah, I might try that tomorrow morning. So 3 things, just to make sure I'm remembering, 3 things that I'm grateful for, 3 things that will make today great.
Yep.
And I am ...
Yeah, like an affirmation, like,
Okay.
like I'm a fierce warrior. Isn't that from something?
I don't know.
That's from something.
I am not sure. Yeah, I think it is from a show. Actually, it was from a Christmas show.
Was it?
Yeah, it was from a Christmas movie last year.
I giggled about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the morning.
Okay.
And then the evening is it's reflecting on 3 amazing things that happened that day. It might be, I had chocolate pudding. It could be simple. Like that was amazing. Like and it had a dollop of whipped cream on it. Like it doesn't have to be high stakes.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
The barrier to entry doesn't have to be so high.
Yeah. I like that. So talk to me a little bit. I know when we were preparing for today, you were talking about a concept from David Brooks that really kind of blew my mind because it makes sense, but it also wasn't something that I had put together in the way that you talked about it or he talked about it.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
He was talking about, and it was a real long form interview, and I don't even think I've listened to the full thing because it was like hours long. But he brings up I don't even want to say the difference, but like the subtlety between joy and happiness. And Tim Ferriss was just talking about it in a very similar way that I had heard David Brooks talk about it. So David Brooks says, happiness is I am happy, where joy is more about the happiness of others. It's more outside of you. And I heard about that right after, for some reason, I was looking up Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I can't remember exactly why, but like I was going down that rabbit hole. You start with your basic needs, right? Like food, shelter, those things. And then it goes up the iceberg. And there's an article where it's like, well, there was another step that he included later in his life, and it doesn't get a lot of saying. And it was the last step was self-transcendence. And so I'm wondering if that's maybe where David Brooks got that from, but it makes a lot of sense because I find a lot of joy in giving. And giving is about sharing with others, right? It's giving happiness to somebody else. That's joyous. And so, yeah, and then I told you about that and you're like, whoa. I'm like, yeah. So I had the same reaction when I heard it. Like I had to stop the interview and I wrote it down. Like I probably have it on like 3 different notes. It's like we talked about, we deserve simple joys. To me, that's a little more like happiness for ourselves and like the tiny little things that just give us a little smile and like keep you going throughout the day.
Sure.
Or like when I say, if I can take care of myself, it helps me take care of others. It's like, so if I can create a little bit of happiness for myself, I can create a lot of joy for other people. All these ideas kind of like they go together in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what does it make you think of? Because like you had like kind of this like, whoa, I like that.
Well, I think the reason I liked it was because often I think we interchange the words happiness and joy. Like, I am happy, I am joyful, but to create happiness, it does feel more like it is an internal,
like his
personal thing.
I think he maybe said like, oh, you win the big game and you're happy for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. But you're focusing on what you gained, and joy is more focusing on what others gain.
Yeah, it just, I think the word joy, when you were telling me, was just that, where it feels like it's more, I don't say I made myself joyful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I often don't get caught up in words and like the really nuanced piece of them.
Not like me.
Not like you. But for this delineation between the two, I do see that joy is more than just myself being happy. Yeah. It's about creating the conditions where more people can be happy as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it blew my mind a little bit because I had never really heard that articulated that difference myself.
So it makes me think a little bit of like how good it feels to see other people accomplish something. Like that's joyous. Like watching the kids play their instruments.
Yeah, they were just doing that.
Yeah, we were at the music shop just yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
You know, and at the record shop and seeing them explore and find some music. Or like watching a toddler learn how to walk. Mm-hmm. You know, or some like you don't have to be the teacher, but seeing somebody learn something, like having like that little epiphany of that growth, right? Yeah. It's just it's a wonderful feeling. So
yeah,
there's more there. I haven't gotten his book. Were you were listening to it or?
Yeah, I was listening to it, and I have it in hard copy.
Yeah, you have the hardcover, don't you?
I do.
I gotta finish that.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
I don't know if you want it. I can get it to you.
Yeah. Does he talk about that at all in the book? Because I haven't gotten all the way.
I haven't gotten all the way through.
Oh, okay.
I have this really bad.
I called you out on accident.
I know. No, I have this really bad habit of having about 2 to 7 books going at one time.
I don't think it's a bad habit.
Well, and right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books going. 6.
Good.
Actually, 7 if you count Audible.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 7 and 8 actually, but yes, I'm not getting through any of them very quickly.
I heard somebody else talking about how they have 6 or 7 books going out once, and they were on like a big deal podcast, and I was like, I'm cool like them. It's okay that I go in between a bunch of different books. I don't know. It's kind of how I roll too.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit that sometimes I feel like, so one of the books I'm reading is the Encyclopedia of Fairies. It's fiction, a lovely book, and I'm going little by little through it.
Are you savoring it?
Yes, I'm savoring it. But then there's some books that I'm reading for work. So I'm reading one of the strategic planning books I think I talked about on the last week podcast. Yeah. So that one's meaty.
It's got to be dense.
It's dense and it's meaty, but it's good. It's it's good. And I have that one going. I have one going called Chatter. I can't remember the author right now on Audible, which is really good about the voices in our head and how to kind of calm them down, because what we say to ourselves, our inner dialogue, can really impact how we show up and feel. And so just all good things, but everything from work-related, self-help, self-empowerment, just for fun. I'm all over the board. All over the board.
Okay, let's wrap up this.
We can
book
come
corner.
Book corner. Yeah. I was listening to a podcast just this past week. They were talking about how to create joy at the holidays. And one of the things that they pointed out was how important gratitude was in that process of creating joy. I mean, they had lots of other tips too, but the one I really wanted to focus in on was gratitude. And what they suggested is to make a gratitude A to Z list. So basically taking the entire alphabet and putting something you're thankful for each letter. And I thought, now that's potentially a really easy thing to do and work through. It's scripted for the most part, so you kind of know what you're doing, so it doesn't feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
Or it didn't for me, from a concept standpoint. What about you? I made you do it.
No, it's fun.
Spoiler.
It's a prompt, so it's fun. But like some of the letters, I'm like, I'm kind of stuck on.
So I kind of want to go through it just rapid fire and see what you put. I just thought it was fun and
it's the holiday season, and especially when this podcast is coming out, it'll be Thanksgiving in the U.S. We're trying to have a little bit of fun, but also focus on the fact that being thankful, and even with the holidays in December, it's about giving and more than getting, I think.
Right. Yeah. It's more about being generous with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, your time, your attention, your presence, and not like presence, the physical kind, like you're
being with somebody.
Yeah. And truly with them.
Yeah.
Right. Put down the phone. Enjoy that conversation. Okay. So you ready to go through this? Gratitude A to Z?
Let's get into
Laura
it.
style? Okay.
Yeah.
So you want me to say the letter and then us go? Yeah. Okay. A. What do you got?
I have audiobooks, albums, music albums, and autonomy.
I didn't know you were going to list multiple. Yours are fairly deep. I put avocados.
Good.
I like avocados.
I probably got some food on here too.
Okay. All right. All right. How about B?
Books. We spent a lot of time. And I put black beans.
Oh, you like black beans. So I have to say, when I was going through this, for anyone that used to play categories, whenever you had
alliteration,
right? Yeah. Multiple words that start with the same letter, you get multiple points. Yeah. So black beans would be a double pointer right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought of that a little bit after you told me that. You were giggling yourself while you're filling this out.
Yeah.
I got one more special bonus one
for B. Okay.
Yep. Bongo, which is the name of Seth Godin's new word puzzle game on Puzzmo.com.
I thought amazing. You meant the drum.
No, I did too when he brought it up. I'm like,
I was like, are you going to be a drummer now? Because the kids need a drummer.
I thought he said he made a set of bongos. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's amazing.
That would be amazing.
And then he's like, it's a word game. I'm like, that's even better because I love word games.
I have baking with family.
You're going to be doing that this week?
Oh, yes. We're going to make pies in a couple days here. Okay. C.
To keep it anonymous for our kids, I put child 1 and child 2 here.
That's good.
I also have coffee, chocolate, and chicken.
You kept going.
Yeah.
I put coffee.
I thought you might say that. We were doing this over coffee.
We were doing this over coffee and a puzzle we had just finished. Okay, D.
Date nights.
Oh, I like date nights too. I didn't think of that one though. I put discovering new things.
Nice.
E.
This was a tricky one for me. I wrote Elvis Costello.
That's good.
And then I wrote evenings.
Yes, you are.
The nighttime is the right time.
For you it is.
For me.
Yes. Electricity.
Oh, it's a good one.
This week, so it's Saturday morning, I was trying to make a pot of coffee and it kept flipping our breaker. And so very privileged to have electricity, but when it didn't work, I was very nervous about my coffee not working. And that's like probably the least of our worries, but...
That happened to me this week at home. I woke up and all the clocks were flashing and the coffee didn't go. It took a while to reset the GFI.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I need coffee.
Okay, F.
Family, friends, food.
I put family and friends.
Yeah.
G.
Guitar.
I put going to games and concerts.
Concerts isn't...
Going to games and concerts.
Okay.
Going is the G.
All right. I'll let you have
we just went to the Packers game tonight, and it was fantastic. They beat the 49ers. Whoop, whoop. I had to put that in there.
You always got to slip the Packers into our podcast.
Always. I put something else for P, so that was my chance. Okay, H.
Home and heavy metal.
Combination. I have health and wellness.
That's better. That's deep.
What about I?
Internet.
Ooh, you do like the internet.
It connects us all.
It does. I have In Residence Project with Keith.
Oh,
Aw. Okay, J.
jazz and journaling.
Oh, those are good ones. I put joy.
Nice.
K?
I put kale ?
Are you grateful for kale?
I don't know. It supposedly it's good for me, but it doesn't feel good for me. Like it usually like hurts my tummy. I also put the little gem I found at the record store, the Keith album.
Oh, that was pretty fun. What was the album again?
It's by his name is Keith, and it had this cool graphic of like my name. And I'm like, I'm like, what is this? So I found it online. I'm like, oh, it sounds kind of like poppy, like the Monkees a little bit. But it's got like horns. It's it's orchestrated. It's good. It's like 1967, like pop music by it must be like kind of a one-hit wonder. I don't mean to like lessen whatever it is, but like I found it in the stacks at the record store. And I'm like, okay, I got to get this. It was $5.
Isn't it like Keith Ain't Tell a Lie or something like that?
It was 98.6 /
You emailed me the soundtrack.
Was it Ain't Gonna Lie?
I got it. Ain't Gonna Lie.
It's not a soundtrack. It's an album.
An album. Ain't Gonna Lie.
Yeah.
98.6 Ain't Gonna Lie.
98.6 is the song title, and then / and then Ain't Gonna Lie. So my guess is those must have been like the singles on like the 45 that came out, but then there's a whole album. I got the 12-inch. So
yes.
Okay, spent too much time on that. What is your K?
Keith.
Oh, geez. Nice.
Yeah. L?
Laura.
Aw, I put Lefsa.
I put lights also.
Yeah, lights are...
Because I like lights.
You do like lights. Okay, should we move to M?
Yeah.
M.
Music. Movement.
Ooh, that's very nice. I put mornings. I love that you had evenings because I was like, I'm going to drop mornings. I love the morning. I just get up and just smile at the sun.
I should have put night for N, but I didn't.
You didn't?
Let's roll in.
What do you have for N?
Notebooks.
Notebooks.
I'm addicted.
You love notebooks.
So do you.
I do. I put nature.
That's a better one.
Yeah. O.
A hard time with this one. So I wrote origami.
Ooh, okay.
Origami's just fun.
It is fun. I put opportunities to make a difference.
Okay, good. You're funny.
I'm
That's
grateful
good.
for that.
It is. That's good.
Okay. What about P?
P, I have a few more again. Let's see. I have podcasts, piano, power tools. This one was easy. There's more. Puzzles. We did a puzzle this morning.
Yes.
And Purple Space.
Purple Space.
Shout out to all my Purple Space friends that listen. And Puzzmo. that's fun. That's the new the new puzzle platform that I found out from Seth. So I love it.
That's great. I didn't realize we could put more than one. But I guess we make our own way, right? So I put playing piano. That's when I got really excited because I'm like, ooh, it's like a category double point.
The alliteration, yeah.
Playing
great.
piano. Okay. Q.
Quiet.
Yes. You do love your quiet. I put quilts that are cozy.
Oh,
not just any quilt. I don't like scratchy ones. Just ones that are cozy. Okay. What about R?
Records, record players, rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. Those are good ones. I put running water.
That is something to be very grateful for.
Okay. What about S?
Solitude, sparkling water, sunsets.
Oh, no walks on the beach? I guess that doesn't start with S.
That would be W.
That would be W.
I'm more of a mountain man.
You're more of... Okay. I put spending time with family.
Nice.
What about tea?
I wrote tea, the beverage.
Oh, okay.
And time with kids and Laura.
Oh, I put traveling.
Of course you did.
You didn't have traveling on your list?
No.
No?
I put movement. I can walk to the mailbox and back.
That's great. Okay. You.
You, I could not think of anything except for underwear. And I am very grateful for underwear.
That's good. I don't know if I can follow that.
What'd you put?
I put unboxing new puzzles.
Oh, so, wow, that's a good one. Like, I like to, like, getting a present. Like, I know we're talking about gratitude and not technically presents.
Yeah.
But, like, when you get a package in the mail, you've seen, like, unboxing videos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Oh, yeah. Very fun.
That's a good one.
V.
videos and
Yeah.
vinyl.
Ooh.
And vinyl records.
I get
got a bunch of different versions of records and
Records you
music.
like?
Yeah.
I have violets and other flowers.
I guess if it's in the
I don't
phrase
know.
and it starts with the letter, I guess it counts.
I think so. Okay. W.
Walking, workouts, writing.
Okay. I have water and wine.
Nice.
Yeah. I have a beverage theme going on that one. How about X?
X-rays.
Ooh, why are you grateful for X-rays?
Because we got to figure out when Child 2's fingers were broken. I didn't think they were broken, and then they were. I'm like,
and then they were, yeah.
I'm like, well,
poor little guy.
and like they can take X-rays of your teeth and help you out when you need a root canal. Not that that's fun, but I'm grateful that they took care of it for me a couple of years ago. Yeah,
that's true. You were in pain. I had Xerox machines.
Nice.
I don't know if they even call them that really, but I was.
No, that's a brand.
I know
it's just like Kleenex.
I think people kind of know. I hope. Like if I had to copy by hand everything, that would be really hard. I'm really grateful that we don't have to do that anymore.
The Mitch Hedberg joke when he's like, I wrote a script and I brought it to somebody and they said, it's good, but you should rewrite it. And he's like, nah, man, I'll just make a copy.
That's true. Okay, why?
YouTube.
Oh, that was a good one.
I love YouTube. I can learn almost anything.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I struggled with this one. I put yard work.
Oh, good. Because you're in charge of it.
I know. Well, I like being outside, and I actually like mowing the lawn and landscaping and gardening, and so I'm going to put that all in yard work.
Well, guess what you're getting for Christmas from me?
Yard work? It doesn't include snow removal.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I do that.
You do that. Okay. And then Z.
Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great
We've been using that quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can connect.
That's nice. I like that better than mine.
What'd you put?
Zoology.
Oh, there you go.
I just thought I'm grateful for being able to learn more about animals and what make them work and all of that. And so I really enjoy that. And I'm grateful for that field of study. Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. So what did you think?
That's what I just said. It was fun.
Well, it was fun, but okay. So when you were like filling it out, how did you think it went?
I mean, it's just like starting journaling or even doing the 5-minute journal. It's a little tricky at first because it's just like writing anything. It's like nothing seems good enough or, oh, that's too trivial. But it's like, no, the point is go through it. And like, I could do gratitude A to Z every day if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like that could get me back into journaling. Like, oh, you know what I did for my journaling today? Try to think of something I was grateful for. Right. So yeah, I got stuck on a couple, but, it might even help my vocabulary. And like, I'm like, I gotta think of something that I can for you, like, or Z, right? Or X. Like,
yeah.
Look how I turned it into a word game.
Yeah. You know what I'm noticing right now is it feels like our mood is lighter. And it's even like a little, I don't know, lighter and just more.
We're playful, I think.
Playful. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good for this late at night.
It is. Yeah. I like that.
We should wrap up because we were going to try to do a short one because we know we're hoping people are busy. They're right amount of busy this week, but
yeah,
we want to show up and make sure we do a podcast. And
exactly.
So how should we wrap up?
Maybe the one thing, if you're okay, I'd love if you could also talk about the practice. I know in Purple Space, I know you did a shout out to your Purple Space people or our Purple Space people.
Yeah, you're on there.
And just about the practice that community does each week.
Yeah. So they do a Thank You Thursday. It started in the Carbon Almanac. In Purple Space is just another way that they brought it forward in that community. It's a gratitude practice and specifically letting people know how they affected you that week, how they maybe made your life better, made your project better that you were talking about. Maybe they gave you some feedback or just said, hey, keep going, you know? And so it's just a way to nudge people to like, hey, like somebody might have really affected you this week and they don't even know it yet. It's this virtuous cycle of I thank you and then maybe you'll thank somebody else. And it lightens you up. It's a great practice because we don't always say it.
Yeah.
And like we said at the very beginning to kind of bring it all the way back, it's like, it's so important because like it makes your head feel better. It makes your physical body feel better and just it shifts your energy, I think. So
Yeah.
it's a simple practice and I don't think it needs to be complicated.
And even if people aren't in purple space, even just taking something like, okay, it's Thank You Thursday,
Yeah.
or having a mental note, you could do everything as simple as sending someone a quick text to say thank you,
Yeah.
sending them even an individual message on LinkedIn if you don't want to put something more public. Give them just a little nudge of like, hey, I just wanted to say thank you for X, Y, and Z this week.
Yeah, if it can be, and if it can be specific, that's really, I think, really helpful. But it can also be just like, hey, friend, you're awesome. I just wanted to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that's how you got to start, just do it. You're going to brighten their day.
Well, and that's, I know John Acuff says that too. I'm trying to remember which book it was, but he talks about...
No friend's going to be upset that you texted them and said you're awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Or said, hey, I was thinking of you and I just wanted to say thank you for always being there for me. No, people aren't going to be upset. That's just going to lift that joyousness in somebody else.
Joyfulness.
Joyfulness.
I don't know.
Joyfulness. Yeah.
So it's a gratitude practice, and it just happens to be Thank You Thursday. So
yeah, and so I mean, maybe as we wrap up, I want to throw out a challenge. Maybe we want to challenge you all to find a way to say thank you to someone, or identify people and things you're grateful for, one or the other. Just something very simple today. Take 2 to 5 minutes and try the 5-minute journal. Try the gratitude A to Z. Send a quick text or a message to someone just to say thank you and that you are grateful for them or something that they've done.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Love you.
I love you too.